Oh, 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 no.
I don't need negative energy, wrap me in positive synergy. I have been doubted through life, been there and done that with trifling people who told me my style would not work. I told them they wrong, been struggling too long. This song is for you, I'm proving you wrong.
Get out my way, get out my way, get out my way, get out my way.
I'm a genuine person. Like if I love you, I love you. If I don't mess with you, I don't mess with you. It's as simple as that.
I'm so in love with you. Whatever you want to do is all right with me. You make me feel so brand new. I want to spend my life with you. We say, sing, baby, since we've been together, oh, loving you forever is what I need. Let me be the one you come running to. I'll never be untrue. Oh, baby, let's stay together, loving you well, and the good, the bad, happy or sad. Ooh, yeah. Well, the times are good, bad, happy or sad. Somebody, my people make up. Oh, turn around and wake up. I just came to see you never do that to me. Baby, it's been around you is all I see. Is what I want to do. We ought to stay together, loving you well, times are good, bad, happy or sad. Stay together, loving you well.
What up, what up, what up, what up, everybody? What's up, y'all? It's Sunday, man. It's Sunday. Alexa, stop. How many of y'all off tomorrow, man? How many of y'all off tomorrow? I am. If you off tomorrow and the day you just gonna chill, get your drink on, and just relax your body, man, put a 1 in the chat. If you just gonna chill out today, sleep in tomorrow, and just relax. Let me see who we got up in here today. I'm a Queen Newton. What's going on, Queen? How you doing? I see you was in here first today. That's what's up. Chi-Town OG. What up? What up? Karen J. How you doing? How you doing? Black Girl Beauty is in the building. How you doing? How you doing? The True Strong said, hey, Atmos in chat, I'll be listening from the bushes because I'm cooking dinner. That's what's up. Missy Powell. What's up, my sis? How you doing? BBP. Hello. How you doing? Welcome, welcome. King Johan. What up, bro? King Johan said, what's popping? What's popping? I see you digging in the crates. Yeah, man. Tybo, what's up? Walking and stepping. Kanza, what's up? Happy Sunday. Welcome in. All right. Oh, okay. Y'all off. Okay, that's what's up. Michelle Ryder, how you doing, Queen? What's going on? Yeah, y'all. Sometimes I be having to make myself take off work because in my line of business, I'm in sales. So, you know, it's kind of like whenever somebody wants you to come to their house, you know what I'm saying? You want to jump on that. But how many days can you like take off work and not feel guilty about it? This is one of the only days. So I'm going to take off tomorrow, y'all. I'm taking off tomorrow. Just so y'all know, later on today, I will be also joining my sister Diva Divine Light. She'll be reading. She's supposed to be reading later, and I might be jumping on with her to read also. So we are definitely going to be trying to stay up on top of this. This is our first day of day 7. It looks like it's a continuation of the direct with the prosecutors and Tom Arnold. Tom Arnold, once again, for those of y'all that don't know, that is R. Kelly's assistant / bodyguard / runner / do-boy. Okay, if you want to make a long story short. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, y'all, let's go ahead and get into this, man. Let's get in. I like to play the music to let people get up in here, say hi to everybody. Hey, and then we're gonna get straight into it. Okay, if you're watching this on the playback, you know what I'm saying. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for watching. Please, if you have not subscribed to this channel yet, please subscribe to this channel. If you subscribe to the channel, you will get a notification when I go live, so that way you don't miss nothing. You get to hear it live, straight from the mouth of me. Everything I read, as y'all know, is straight from the transcript. This is everything that happened. This is not my opinion. This is just the facts. I am not an R. Kelly hater, but I am not an R. Kelly supporter. I am a supporter of the victims, but I am a supporter of the truth. If there is some things that happened and the truth comes out and R. Kelly is found to be free and innocent, I will say free R. Kelly. However, I am on the side of the victims, but like I said, I'm not a biased person. I just want the truth. And when the truth shall make you free, right? All right, so let's go ahead and get into this, and let's dig into what the truth is. So let's go ahead and pick this up, y'all. So this is page 1469. I'll try to read at least about 30 pages. If it gets too good and I can't stop, then we're going to keep going. But let's dig into this. So this is United States District Court, Eastern District of New York, United States of America versus Robert Sylvester Kelly. This is day 7, y'all. So this was on August the 26th. As y'all see, we are kind of ahead of her. I see some people still reading from the 25th and the 24th, but I like for us to stay on top of things. So let's get this thing started. So open court outside the presence of the jury. The judge says, okay, I know we'll get to the witness in just a minute. I got these motions in limine at some ungodly hour, and I'm prepared to rule on them. If the government wants to be heard at all, we can just take care of it. I don't know which one of you wants to address them. So then Ms. Cruz Melendez says, yes, Your Honor. Defense counsel is attempting to ask Your Honor to reverse the very clear ruling that Your Honor made during the pretrial conference with respect to both Jane Doe number 1 and Jane Doe number 8. That's how we were referred to in our motion with respect to the other side, to the other acts. Your Honor specifically noted that for both of these victims, the evidence was clear, direct evidence of the means and methods of the enterprise, and that with respect to the actual conduct, it was no more inflammatory than the conduct that's been charged in the case. So the government would ask that Your Honor not reverse the very clear ruling that you made at the pre-trial conference. And then the judge says, Mr. Scholar, is there anything else that you want to supplement with your letter with? Mr. Scholar said, Your Honor, would it be possible to have turned off the mic to the public area? Is it possible to have it turned off? The judge says, I mean, I read your submission, which was quite thorough. I don't know if there's anything you want to add to it. She said, I don't know if there's anything you want to add to it. Mr. Scholar said, well, just with respect to, then the judge says, okay, are you saying that because it's a sealed letter? Mr. Scholar said, yes, Judge. And also, what I'm about to go into should not be publicly divulged. Okay, so now, here we go with this. So, looks like the defense wants to talk about something that I guess, I don't know if it came up. I don't know if they got something from a YouTube blogger that they want to go over with the judge. I don't know what's about to happen, but they wanted to pretty much talk to the talk to the judge in private. Okay. All right. Let me just pull this up to make sure y'all can actually hear me. Give me one moment here. Give me one moment. For those of y'all just popping in, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. All right. I think y'all can hear me. Yes, you can. Okay, great. Let's get it. Let me just pull this up over here. Man, we about to go. All right, y'all. So, here we go. So the judge says, I see. So why don't we come over to the side with Ms. Cruz Melendez with the court reporter, and you tell me what it is. So then the court says, the judge says, just make sure the court reporter can hear you. So this is what they were saying in secret, y'all, that the people in the overflow room can't hear. Okay, so here we go. So Mr. Scholar says, okay, it's just that based upon the review of the 3,500, it appears that what was being alleged in the forcible rape, that it's not what the theory of case was within the indictment, and it wasn't what the government opened on, and it hasn't been a theory that's been developed through the direct examination of the witnesses. The judge says, I'm not sure that so we're talking about Jane Doe number 8. Mr. Scholar says, yes. The judge says, I'm not sure I read it that way. In my view, it's relevant. Because according to the 3,500 material, she told him that she was 17, and there's been cross-examination, and part of the defense is that he wasn't aware that people were 17 or they weren't 17. So it's certainly relevant to that. And I think, as I ruled in my pretrial ruling, it's relevant to the means and methods of the enterprise because of the sort of pattern of conduct that happened at these conferences. So I'm not going to change that ruling. Whoa. That's big. Now, this is what the people in the overflow rooms could not hear, y'all. This is what they could not hear. Wow. Okay. So then the defense lawyer says, yes. The judge says, and we might as well discuss John Doe number 1. Mr. Scholar says, yes. Ms. Cruz Melendez says, can I note one thing for the record with respect to Jane Doe number 8? The judge says, surely. Ms. Cruz Melendez says, as your honor knows, we charged with respect to Jane Doe number 3 an assault while Jane Doe number 3 was unconscious and unable to consent, as well as force with Mr. Kelly with respect to Jane Doe number 4 and with respect to Jane Doe number 5, used threatening methods in order to engage in sexual conduct attacking them. So with respect to the manner in which the sexual contact happened with Jane Doe number 8, we would state that it's no more inflammatory than the other charges in the case. The judge says, I mean, it is true that there's a certain, the testimony of the 2 victims that testified so far, there is certainly a coercive aspect to their claims. And so, like I said, I did not really, I read it as non-consensual. I didn't read it as, well, to me, it's not really very different from anything else. The only difference is, as you point out in your submission, is that she only met him one time. But to me, that doesn't really change the relevance of the evidence. So I'm going to deny your application, and you can have an exception to that ruling. Wow. Latrice B, what up? What up? Let me see. Tarsha, what's up? What's up? Flawless Beauty, hey. Nikki, hey. All right, let's keep it going, y'all. Woo! So that was the sidebar, y'all. That's why I love reading these transcripts, because when we get into these sidebars, that's when we really learn exactly what's going on. So Mr. Scholar says, yes. The judge says, and then with respect to John Doe number 1, who's John Doe? Ms. Cruz Melendez says John Doe number 1. The judge says John Doe number 1. First of all, again, the sexual contact with him is also relevant to the means and methods. He is, I believe, under 18. Ms. Cruz Melendez says that's correct. 16 or 17. The judge says when he first met the defendant, and that while the gender of the victim is different, the nature of the conduct is not appreciably different. I will also say I read the 3500 material, and I noted that there was some descriptions in there of the way the defendant is alleged to have spoken to, I think, Miss Joycelyn Savage. Oh boy. Here we go. I think Miss Joycelyn Savage directing her to have sex with John Doe number 1 in a way that's consistent with the way other witnesses have described the way he treated these young women. And so I think that's relative for that purpose too. Mr. Scholar said, well, Judge, we threw that distinction in our motion. Just that we were seeking to preclude him from testifying as to the more salacious claims, salacious facts. Some testimony about a dildo. Some testimony he would offer about some relations with Mr. Kelly that have nothing to do with the charges themselves. The judge says, well, they do in my view, and I will say without, I mean this sincerely. I think we crossed the salacious bridge quite some time ago. That's the nature of these cases, and particularly one that's alleged to have occurred the way this case has. I mean, one of the things which happened appropriately. So in the opening statement was, how could this be an enterprise? And this conduct to me is demonstrative of the existence of an enterprise and the continuation of it. So you have an exception to that ruling too? Oh, so you have an exception to that ruling too. Mr. Collins said, all right, and number 3, the judge says, you don't object to that, do you? Ms. Cruz Melendez says, Your Honor, the government is because the judge says the famous people. Ms. Cruz Melendez says the names of the famous people don't have relevance to the issue that they're trying to raise. To the extent that they want to question whether or not celebrities were present, we're more than fine with that aspect of it. But from the government's perspective, the only purpose of raising specific celebrities' names is to gain favor with the jury. The judge says, well, I again haven't really followed this case, but I am going to go out on a limb here and say that those famous people probably are trying to get as far away from them as they can right now. Right now. So I would be careful about that. Oh. So the judge is saying, I don't think no famous people want to be tied to him right now with this case. And she right. How many celebrities y'all have heard come out and speak for R. Kelly? Y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Audie Ann is crazy. She funny. She is funny. All right, let me keep going. Mr. Scholar said, definitely. The judge said, but it's fine to mention that there were, stars there, and it's certainly relevant as to the extra security. Then what's the relevance? What's the relevance of the song titles? Mr. Scholar said, well, it's just a matter of these are songs that he's written while he's in the studio. The judge said, right. Mr. Scholar says sometimes 24-hour sessions, and in order for the witness to know what we're talking about, the song titles are necessary in order to ask the witness so that he knows the songs we're talking about. The judge said, who are we talking about? Not an agent. Mr. Scholar said, no, not an agent. I believe he wrote, I Believe I Can Fly, and certainly some other songs. But in case it comes up, we want to be able to ask him about it, certainly about writing certain songs. So maybe they should ask him about writing Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. I don't see nothing wrong with a little bumping. Why'd you write them songs? What was you thinking when you wrote Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, brother, around the times you were dealing with a... Let me stop. Let me read on. Hold on. I gotta sip my water, y'all. Hold on. Larry's Minion, what's up? Y'all, I've been tearing this doggone alkaline water up. Y'all, man, listen. I'm about to change my whole makeup. Watch. One day, y'all gonna look on the screen and be like, dang, Atlas done lost all counterweight. Watch what I say. All right. Here we go. So the judge says, hold on. The judge says if he needs to be oriented as to place and time, that's fine. I mean, and then Ms. Cruz Melendez says, can we? The judge says, well, do I think it's totally relevant? Not particularly. Do I think it also offsets in any way, shape, or form what the other testimony is? No. But I mean, I don't really see the relevance. Well, we'll see what happens when it comes up. To me, it's not a huge deal one way or the other. Mr. Scholar said, and as far as the celebrities, just say when it comes up. The judge said, you can ask. I think that's fine when it comes up. If it's somebody famous, you are going to have extra security for that. Mr. Scholar said, definitely. The judge said, that's perfectly fine. So win 2, lose 2. Mr. Scholar said, I'll take it. That's the end of the sidebar. Okay. So now we're about to get into this here. Mr. Scholar, the judge says, Mr. Scholar, I think in a view of rulings, it doesn't have to be sealed. Am I correct? Mr. Scholar said, no, Judge. Then the judge said, okay, so it doesn't have to be sealed. Mr. Scholar said no. The judge says, okay, great. Just to recap, I'm denying these motions in limine with respect to the testimony of Jane Doe. Ms. Cruz Melendez says number 8. The judge says number 8 and Jane Doe. Ms. Cruz Melendez said number 1. The court said number 1. And then the judge says, I'm granting the application to permit questioning regarding various people who visited the location and with respect to the songs that were being worked on. I'm not 100% sure I see the relevance, but if it's necessary to orient a witness as to the time or place, that's fine. I don't think we have anything else that we have to do. So basically what she's saying is the lawyers are saying we would like to be able to play a song or have something to remind the witness of when they were around that situation. So a lot of times when people hear a song, they might say, oh, yeah, I remember I was at when I heard that song and stuff like that, right? That may have been the reason why when they played that song with, I believe it was Faith was giving him oral somebody was giving him oral in the studio, and his song was playing. R. Kelly was bopping his head to it and playing the air piano, right? Maybe they wanted to see. So I guess he definitely probably remembered that experience, right? All right. How much? I'm sorry. I lost my place a little bit. Are we still on direct? Ms. Geddes says we are. The judge says, you said you have about a half hour left. Ms. Geddes said 45 minutes. The judge said, and Mr. Farinella, are you doing a cross to this witness? Mr. Farinella said, yes, Your Honor, I am. The judge says, do you have any idea how long it would take with him? Mr. Farinella said, I'm not certain, Your Honor, but the court said a day. Mr. Farinella said, no, not a day, Your Honor. Then the judge says, all right. Mr. Farinella says, a few hours, perhaps. The judge said, a few hours. Okay. Mr. Farinella said, if that, I don't know. The judge says, you don't want me to tie you down. All right. As we're continuing in the direct, be thinking of, being efficient is all I ask. Okay. Mr. Farinella said, yes, Your Honor, I understand. The judge says, anything else anybody wants to put on the record? Mr. Canick said, Your Honor, just to alert the court. The judge says, into the microphone, if you don't mind. Mr. Canick said, just an alert to the court. We do anticipate another motion in limine as it relates to John Doe. I think John Doe number 1, and we'll make that argument before he testifies. The judge says, are you going to leave me in suspense? When is he testifying? Ms. Cruz Melendez says he's scheduled to testify today, Your Honor. Oh, shoot. We might get into John Doe today, y'all. We just might. So the judge says, okay, so you know what? I'll just have to wait. So let's get the witness and then we'll get the jury. The witness, Thomas Arnold, previously sworn, resumes the stand. The judge says, okay, the witness is here. Let's get the jury, please. The clerk says, you may be seated. The judge says, good morning, everybody. The jury said, good morning. And then the judge says, look, first of all, let me apologize for the delay. This was another one of those legal issues that we had to resolve. But I think it's going to move things along a little bit, which is one of my goals here. We are ready to continue with the direct examination of the witness. The clerk says the witness is reminded he's still under oath. The witness says yes. So we're back to the direct examination of Ms. Geddes, who is the government attorney who is talking to Mr. Thomas Arnold, who is the assistant / bodyguard / runner for R. Kelly. Okay. So the lawyer says, good morning. Mr. Arnold says, good morning. Lawyer says, look, yesterday before we ended, you testified about the time that you worked at Chicago Tracks and then the chocolate factory at 865 North Larrabee in your testimony. Now, you referred to a room on the floor plan that referred to Rockland Records. Do you recall that? The witness says yes. The judge says, is your microphone on? The witness says, there it is, power cycle. And the judge says, all right, go ahead. The lawyer said, what is Rockland Records? The witness says, it is a record label and production company that Mr. Kelly had or has. I don't know. The lawyer said, I'm going to show you, I'm showing the witness only what's been marked for identification as government exhibit 525U. The lawyer said, do you recognize what's shown in 525U? The witness said, yes. The lawyer said, what is in 525U? The witness said, it's the gated entrance to 865 Larrabee. The lawyer said, and again, the government offers 525U. The judge says, any objection? Mr. Farinella said, no objection. The court says, okay, it's an evidence. You can display it. The lawyer said, this barbed wire fence, from where to where did that extend? Mr. Thomas said, he said, well, to the end of the property, which would have been the northmost side of the parking lot along Larrabee. It extended down to the connect to the building, actually the adjoined structure. The lawyer said, and in order to get into the parking lot for Chicago Tracks and then the chocolate factory on Larrabee, did the individual need to enter through this entrance? Mr. Thomas said, yes, that's correct. The lawyer said, and in order to leave Chicago Tracks and the chocolate factory on Larrabee, did an individual need to go out this entrance? Mr. Thomas said, yes, that's correct. The lawyer said, now I'm showing the witness what's in evidence as government exhibit 502A. Do you recognize 502A? The witness says, yes. The lawyer says, what is that? The witness says, it's the gates to the house on Olympia Fields at 1 Marcos Lane. The lawyer said, if you could show the witness only, if you could show the witness only what's been marked for identification as 502B. The lawyer said, what's 502B if you recognize it? The witness said, yeah, it's part of the fence that runs along the property line of 1 Marcos Lane. The lawyer said, and 502C, do you recognize that? The witness said, yes, that's the view of the same house when you pass once you're inside the gates to the property. The lawyer said, and whose house is that? Mr. Arnold said, that's Mr. Kelly's. The lawyer said, the government offers 502B and C. Then the court says, any objection? Mr. Farinella says, no objection. The judge says, okay, that's an evidence and you can display it. Then the judge says, the lawyer says, so I'm showing 502B first. There appears to be a court of some kind. What is it? What is that? The witness says, I can't tell from the photo, but depending on the time frame, it's either a tennis court or a basketball court. The lawyer says, so during the time period that you were there, it was used for 2 different purposes. Is that correct? The witness says, correct. The lawyer said, and just to be clear, that court is on the defendant's property. The witness says, yes, that's correct. The lawyer said, can you describe the different structures that are on the defendant's property at 1 Marcos Lane and Olympia Fields? Mr. Arnold said, sure. There was the main house to the right side. If you're facing the house, it was like a large garage. It had 3 bay doors, I believe. And if I remember correctly, there would have been a pathway from the garage towards what is the tennis court or basketball court. And there was also a sort of a gazebo structure there at one point in time, and also closed in to make some sort of small, like a cabin. Now, from the garage, in between the garage and the house would be a pathway that went back into the side entrance of the house. Now, that went into the basement. And then there's a yard to the side that could have or would have either been empty or had a tent or had ultimate a larger tent. The lawyer said, you talked about an enclosed gazebo. What was there? A name that people, was there a name that people who worked at the defendant's residence referred to? The witness says, I believe it was called the cabin at one point in time. The lawyer said, and you mentioned the garage with the 3 bays. Was that attached or a detached garage? Mr. Arnold said it was detached. The lawyer said, can you describe, did you have an opportunity to go inside that detached garage? The witness said, yes. The lawyer said, can you describe what was inside the garage? Mr. Arnold said, excuse me, as far as I can remember, there was always a basketball or, a boxing ring inside the garage. It was always used as a gym when I worked at the property. The lawyer said the area inside the detached garage was used as a gym. Is that correct? The witness said, that's correct. Blackberry 528, how you doing, Queen? What's going on? Chanel Lewis, what's up? You at Virginia Beach? That's what's up. I hope you're having fun. Jacqueline Jones, West Coast Bells, what's up, y'all? What's going on? All right. Lawyer said the area inside the detached garage was used as a gym. Is that correct? The witness said that's correct. The lawyer said, can you describe the basketball ring? Mr. Arnold said, I'm sorry. The lawyer said, I'm sorry. Can you describe the boxing ring? Mr. Arnold said, yes. It was a regulation sized, to my knowledge, full-size boxing ring with the ropes around the outside. The lawyer said, you testified that it was elevated. How was it elevated? Mr. Arnold said, I mean, it was. I'm not exactly sure of what construction of the boxing ring, but it's probably 2.5 to 3 feet above the ground, and it's springy. So there's some sort of spring mechanism underneath it with ropes around the top of it, just as you would see as a boxing ring on television. The lawyer said, are you aware of whether an individual could crawl underneath the boxing ring? Let me read that one more time, y'all. You sip my water. The lawyer said, are you aware of whether an individual could crawl underneath the boxing ring? Mr. Arnold said it would have a curtain around the outside. The judge said, we're having problems with the mic again. Mr. Arnold said, there was a curtain around the bottom of the ring. It would have been open underneath and be used a lot for storage, as I recall. The lawyer said, you also described that there was a tent, and there was a tent. Where was the tent situated? Mr. Arnold said, on the side of the property. So between there's a garage would stand in the house would be a path that went back to the side of the house. There would have been a patio, not originally. It would have been just a big open yard. But at some point in time, while we were at the address, the patio was built and the tent was put on there, and with a bigger tent, like kind of a very large tent was put on there ultimately. The lawyer said, and was that tent there on a semi-permanent basis, or was it used just for parties? The witness said maybe the original tent that was there was more of a temporary structure, but this was a permanently installed tent at one point in time. The lawyer said, you mentioned that there was, I think you said, a side entrance to the basement. Is that correct? The witness said that's correct. The lawyer said, and what was inside that basement? Mr. Arnold said, that was the entrance to the studio to the side. The lawyer said, can you describe the layout of the studio? Mr. Arnold said, sure. So when you come in from downstairs, there would be an entry into what was the reception area, a desk there, a bathroom, and then a closet. The basement was renovated. The basement was renovated to make a kitchen down there, as well as there was a proper reception desk, but otherwise it was like a little closet turned into an office when we first started there, and that would be where you could control the gate. People would come in there, and then you would walk down the hallway to a room, to kind of an opening where the actual studio was. So when you come into the reception, the wall you're looking at as the backside of the actual studio, and you would walk around it. Now, there would be a vocal booth, much smaller than the ones that are at Larrabee. And then there would be a large control room, which would be the next room down, and double doors there that meant that sectioned off the rest of the house, which originally was storage through there. The lawyer said, "Was there a name for that first studio that you described?" The witness said, "I believe we called it Music One." The lawyer said, "What, if anything else, was located in that basement area?" The witness said, "So there would be, when you go through those double doors, and then there would be stairs that led up to the first floor of the house, and along a long hallway, there would be a door to that, would be underneath the aquarium. There was a big aquarium upstairs. So there would be a storage room underneath the aquarium there. And there was originally, when we went to Olympia Fields, two sort of rooms used for storage. I think may have been a classroom at one point in time for his family. I'm not entirely sure what it was used for originally. We ultimately turned these rooms into more studio." The lawyer said, "Can you describe the interior of that studio?" The witness said, "Yes, it had logs on the wall, and it was called the cabin studio." The lawyer said, Why was it, and was there anything across from that cabin studio?" The witness said, "No. Across still would have been the hallway, I think." The lawyer said, "What, if anything else, was located in that basement area?" The lawyer said, "There would have been another door. So as was developed, the basement was developing the basement for studio space, that kind of moved the storage further and further. So there was another storage room right there after you passed through. And then on the left side would have been the studio storage. That's where the studio storage would have been, where there would have been some technical equipment and amplifiers and things like that. Then past that, there was a storage, and then it turned into a theater room. And then you would be at the other side of the house." The lawyer said, "When you say a theater room, what are you referring to?" Mr. Arnold said, "It was actual, like a movie theater with raised seats, and unlike this, and not unlike this. With raised seats, not unlike this. These chairs here." The lawyer said, "And did you also have an opportunity to go inside the main house part of the basement area?" The witness said, "Yes." The lawyer said, "Can you describe, how many floors was on the main house?" The witness said, "The basement had 2 floors above ground." The lawyer said, "Can you describe the first floor of the basement?" Mr. Arnold said, "Sure. If you were to come into the main front door of the house, there was an entryway with the office room just to the right as you come in, and a bathroom to the left. Then you walked into the grand living room, 2 stories high, with big windows and a back wall, and was kind of curved. Now off the living room would be a kitchen to the left. Now once you got into the living room to the right, there was a huge projection TV, like movie theater size projection screen. And if you go, you can go into the kitchen, and then back off. The kitchen was like a sunroom. And instead of walking into the living room, you walk down the hallway, there would be a dining room that was later converted into like a lounge, which would sit across from the kitchen. And then there would be the servant's entrance. Y'all, I don't mean no harm, but this dude describing our Kelly house so doggone good freaking grief. Man, you would think he was the doggone architect, the guy who built the house. I don't even know my house that doggone good. Good grief. And he doing all this from memory? That's crazy. Then he said, and then there will be the servants' entrance at the far side of the house, which would be, which is where the dumpsters were kept. And then, sorry, that part. If you walk into the door and you turn to the right instead of coming into the living room, there would be a long hallway that curved around with a huge aquarium that had sharks and fish in it, big fish. And then to the right, as you come around the corner, would be a swimming pool area. Then next to the swimming pool was a billboard room and a game room. So past the swimming pool, you go into the game room, and it was a very large room, again, with windows that were kind of curved on one side. And then the bathroom that was accessible through like a small little room that at one point in time, I believe had mirrors on it. It was kind of like a dance room, a bar, like a dancer's bar. The lawyer said, how were the game room and the dancer's studio that you just described connected, if at all? The witness said, there was a door from the game room that entered into the room, and the bathroom was connected to that room. The lawyer said, so there was a game room / billboard room, and then that was connected to the room with the mirror along the walls, and then there was a bathroom connected to that. Is that correct? Mr. Arnold said, correct. And there was also a bathroom on the back side of that, which was meant for the pool. And there was also accessible from that pool. And from the game room, you could go from one door to go to the pool area. And then the lawyer said, in the defendant's residence in Olympia Fields, what is the neighborhood there like? Mr. Arnold said it was fairly large houses, none as big as his house, but, it was pretty big sized houses. It was a pretty large neighborhood. The lawyer said, in the defendant's residence, was it set back from the main road? Mr. Arnold said, yes. It was a normal neighborhood street, and then you would go down this lane where there was only one house on each side, and there would be a gate. And then you would go inside it. I think it was probably the size of, a few lots in size. I don't know the actual acreage of the property, but it was a decent drive from the gate to the back of the house. Now, okay, the lawyer said, now when you started working at the defendant's studio within Olympia Fields, how, if at all, did your responsibilities change? Mr. Arnold said the runs were a lot further, having to drive to. And in the city of Chicago, there was things were a lot closer out there. We would go to the mall, which was in Orchid Park, or to restaurants, which were further away. Going to get petty cash and checks. The bank was in the city, and Bass Productions office was in Oak Park. So I would have to drive to Oak Park. So I did a lot of that. The concept, the job was pretty much the same, just that there were a lot more. There was a lot more driving. And then the lawyer said, he said there was also the one studio. To start, there wasn't as much production going on. Once we had the second studio built, the first studio was used a lot for production and people writing music, while he could use his other studio for his primary recording. The lawyer said, when you were working with the defendants at the defendant's studio in Olympia Fields, what, if anything, are protocols that you follow for transport? I think you said that did you continue to transport some of the defendant's personal guests? Mr. Arnold said, I did sometimes, yes. The lawyer said, and when you were working, so now I want to talk about the time when you were in Olympia Fields. I won't continue to say Olympia Fields. I'll make clear if you ask a question about your time at the chocolate factory on Larrabee. So when you were in Olympia Fields, how would you transport guests when you were there? Mr. Arnold said, it would be the same as before. The lawyer said, now, whose vehicle would you use, your own or somebody else's? Mr. Arnold said, no, we always had a runner van, or else there would be an excursion that security had so that we could use a security. We could use a security. The runners or myself would be able to use those vehicles for transporting. The lawyer said, "Are you aware of what other vehicles the defendants had at Olympia Fields?" Mr. Arnold said, "Yes." The lawyer said, "What type of cars did he have?" Mr. Arnold said he had a lot of cars. Over a long period of time, he had a Maybach. He had a Mercedes-Benz Maybach. He said, no, a Mercedes-Benz Maybach. He had a Lamborghini at one point, a Mercedes-Benz SLR, I think it was called. He had a couple of Jeeps. You remind me of my Jeep. I want her. Okay, I see where. Okay, at one point. And there was a Chrysler 300 car. The lawyer said, do you remember what color the Chrysler 300 was? The witness said, it was black and red. I think black across the bottom and red on the top, if I remember correctly. The lawyer said, and what you mentioned that and by the way, were there other cars in addition to the cars that you just described? The witness said, yes. There would have been a couple of excursions at a black one. And then at one point in time, we had one that was red and brown. And then the runner would have a minivan. So there would be a red van. I think there was a brown van at one point in time too. And he had, for a brief time, he had a Rolls Royce. The lawyer said, and you mentioned that there were a couple of excursions. Is that correct? The witness said, yes. The lawyer said, and what do you mean by excursion? Mr. Arnold said, oh, it's a large Ford SUV, I guess. That were made at the time. The lawyer said, did you ever use the defendant's cars that you just described aside from the excursion and the minivan to transport guests? The witness said, yes, I may have used. I used the Maybach to take people from place to place before. The lawyer said, and by people, who are you referring to? The witness said, your question was about the guest. I've used the Maybach to taking guests. The lawyer said, including female guests? The lawyer, the witness said, that's correct. The lawyer said, now, when one of the defendant's personal guests arrived at the chocolate factory, again, in Olympia Fields, what was the protocol for letting them in? Mr. Arnold said, if the person arrived to the gate and used the call box or called from a cell phone, it would be the same process. We'd either receive instructions as to what to do with the person, to let them in, or where they wanted to go. Or we would have to call and get instructions. The lawyer said, who would you call? The witness said, I would call Rob, or I would call someone that I knew was with Rob. The lawyer said, and who, again, are there some individuals that you might call if you wanted to get in contact with Rob, the defendant? The witness said, I'm sorry, one more thing. If Rob was in the studio or around, we run a note to him. And then the same as in the studio, we'd let him know that somebody was at the gate. I'm sorry, could you repeat your question? The lawyer said, sure. Who are some of the individuals that you would call to get in touch with the defendant if you weren't able to get in touch directly with the defendant? The witness said the same individuals that would have been before that, either Junebug or Donnie, who was his music director, or anybody that I knew was with him, a security guard, someone that can just have a phone to pass to him. So it didn't really matter. As long as I know I could get a hold of him, I could call anybody who could hand the phone to him. Hey, Miss Lynn, what's going on, Miss Lynn? How you doing? Cello Bean, what's going on? What's going on? The lawyer said, now you saw earlier that gate, and I think you referred as well the gate that was in front of the property. How did the individual get into the gate? What had to happen? The witness said, so there was a button in the reception that could open the gate. The lawyer said, and that was the reception in the studio itself. The witness says, so as soon as you came down the basement stairs, there's that opening area that was receiving people. There was a desk there, and when the button, and then the button would be there to open up the gate. And the question was from the lawyer, and was there any security situated near the gate? The witness said, depending on the time frame, there was one point in time a guardhouse. Hold on. Depending on the time frame, there was one point in time a guardhouse on the property where somebody would be situated unless there would be somebody sitting in an excursion, and there was frequent times where there was nobody there, and there was a security camera in reception, so you could actually see the gate clearly on the security camera. The witness, and then the lawyer said, and when you said that there were times when there was an excursion there, was anyone inside that excursion? The witness says oftentimes there will be a single security person and two security persons sitting in that excursion. The lawyer said, so once you learned where a guest was to be escorted to, what, if anything, would you have the guest do before the guest was escorted to a particular location? The witness said there was a large period of time when we were having people sign confidentiality agreements. The lawyer said, what did you understand to be in this confidentiality agreement? Did you have an opportunity to read the agreements? The witness said, yes. The lawyer said, what did you understand that they said? The witness said, and this is Mr. Tom Arnold, he said, the agreement said that the person was not to film, take photographs, or talk about anything that they had seen or had experienced or been around at the time at the studio. The lawyer said, and what, if anything, would a guest or did a guest provide upon signing when they were presented with this confidentiality agreement? Mr. Arnold said we would have photocopied the driver's license as we did, the same process we did in the city, or we take a Polaroid of them and staple it to the actual confidentiality agreement. The lawyer said, and what was the purpose? Why did you understand the purpose to be of taking? I'm assuming you took a Polaroid. I'm assuming you take a Polaroid person of the individual signing the picture. Is that right? The witness said, yes, a Polaroid of the person. The lawyer said, what was the purpose of taking a Polaroid picture of a person signing the agreement? Mr. Arnold said to connect the person as to who that signed it, so you know who that person was. The lawyer said, and you said at times you also made copies of individuals' driver's license. Is that correct? Mr. Arnold said that's correct. The lawyer said, where would those copies be made? The witness said there was a photocopier at the reception area, and there was at one point in the guardhouse that was used for when people came in and people would check in at the guardhouse. The lawyer said, now you testified earlier that you started working at the chocolate factory at Olympia Fields after you left 865 North Larrabee. Is that correct? The witness said, my employment was continuous, but yes, the studio itself started at once it left Chicago. It started. The lawyer said, and did you continue working at the chocolate factory at Olympia Fields through the time when the defendant left Olympia Fields? The witness says, yes, I was. Yes, I was. The lawyer said, and so you were there the entire time that the chocolate factory was located at Olympia Fields. Is that correct? The witness said, sorry, there was a brief period of time in 2008 when I was not employed, but aside from that, yes, the whole time I was employed by him and I worked there. Let me live. What's going on, Queen? How you doing? Aisha, what's up? What's up? The truth is in the building. What's up, the truth? How you doing? The lawyer said, during the time, so minus the short period in 2008, during that time, was there ever a time when a guest had to provide their identification twice? Mr. Arnold said, not that I'm aware of. The lawyer said, okay, so you testified earlier that there was I think you said there was a photographer, a photocopy machine in that guard shack. Is that correct? The witness said, yes. The lawyer said, and there was also a photocopy machine in the studio itself. Is that correct? The witness said, yes. The lawyer said, so it's fair to say that a guest would sign one confidentiality agreement. The witness said, yes. Anybody that came in either has signed that at the gate or else they would have done it at the reception at the time that we were collecting confidentiality agreements. The lawyer said, and they also would have only provided their identification or had a Polaroid picture taken once, correct? The witness said, correct. The lawyer said, now, for guests, did all guests sign confidentiality agreements and provide either a driver's license or have their picture taken using a Polaroid camera? Y'all listen to this question. I'm going to read it one more time. This is the government asking Mr. Arnold this question. He said, now, for guests, did all guests sign confidentiality agreements and provide either a driver's license or have their picture taken using a Polaroid camera? The witness said, I can't be certain it was 100%, but that was the policy to always try to get it during that time frame. Wow. So I got a quick question, y'all. You know what? I'm not gonna ask it. I'm gonna keep reading. I'm gonna ask this question once we get done with this here. I'm just writing it down. Okay. Here we go. The lawyer said, how about when guests came on a regular basis to the chocolate factory? Did they sign each time they came? Mr. Arnold said, not necessarily. There were certainly times where we would know that we had already signed one. Either way, it doesn't matter what. They would have been there before or whatever. And I'm sure I know I didn't make anybody sign something because I knew they were already there was already one. And I knew somebody did the same thing, especially when it was busy. The lawyer said, beside, again, referring to the time in Olympia Fields, beside escorting a guest to a particular location within Olympia Fields, what, if any, interaction would you have with the defendant's personal guest? Mr. Arnold said, I may receive a phone call either from reception or else to a cell phone that I had asked to speak to Mr. Kelly would be the most common call. The lawyer said, and who you call? The witness said anybody who was a guest that was there would call me, or was anybody that was trying to reach Mr. Kelly would call either the reception phone or would call my cell phone. The lawyer said, what other interaction would you have? Did you have with the defendant's guest? Mr. Thomas said, if they could have been delivering if they could have been delivering food or escorting someone or giving someone a ride. The lawyer said, did you receive guests from individuals who wanted to move around or did you receive calls from guests who wanted to move around the studio? Mr. Arnold said, yeah, I would have received a call if someone asked to be to a specific place. The lawyer said, such as where? Mr. Arnold said, to say from the lounge to the studio could be one place. Can you take me to the studio? The lawyer said, if you were, when you received a call like that, what did you do? Mr. Arnold said, if I had been previously told to expect a call, I would already know to take the person or what the action. If I hadn't, then I have to ask for permission or find Mr. Kelly to ask what to do. All right, y'all, I'm going to stop right there. We're going to talk a little bit. I started at, I'm stopping at 15:01, the top of 15:01. Y'all remember that? So Diva does go live later on. Diva, the Divine Light, y'all. If y'all want to, we're going to read the next group of pages on Diva, the Divine Light channel. That's my sister. I don't know what time she's going live. She said it'll probably be sometime after me, but she's going to be going live, and I may be on there reading with her also, okay? But remember that we stopped at the top of page 15:01. 15:01. Okay, I wrote that down. Perfect. So, y'all, I got some questions. April Showers! What's up, April Showers? How you doing? Love is fair. How you Miss Kentucky in the building. What's going on, y'all? So let's talk, y'all. Let's talk a little bit. Here's a question I have. If they definitely checked every single guest that came to R. Kelly's home, at least once, everybody got checked at least once, right? Either they had to present a driver's license or they had their picture taken so that they put those on the confidentiality agreements so that they could identify who was who, right? Here's my question. Did the security look at Geronda Pace's 16-year-old ID? Let me ask that one more time for the slow people in the back, because you got a couple of people that's a little slow. Did the security guards, who Mr. Arnold just said that everybody had to sign a confidentiality agreement and either give a photo ID or their driver's license or ID, or they had a photograph taken, and they would take the photograph and staple it to the confidentiality agreement. My question to y'all is, did the security guards, which as we can now see is always the buffer between R. Kelly, the gate, and the guests. So nobody got to R. Kelly unless they went through confidentiality agreement, photo ID, or driver's license. Question number one. Let's say Geronda. Let's say she went up there and said, they said, where's your driver's license? Oh, I don't have a driver's license. How old are you? 18? Where your ID? Right here. And it says 16. How did she get to him through security, who is supposed to protect him from harm, protect him from danger, protect his brand? Let me see what y'all saying, because I want to know what y'all got to say. Manisha Simply Living, how you doing, Queen? She said the ones who's been employed with him the longest was with it. That's why they're telling, because they're facing charges themselves. Okay. Now, guess what? That makes sense. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. This Tom Arnold dude is a beast on the stand. I would have to say that he's probably their best witness so far on the stand. Got to be honest, right? Got to be honest. Chi-Town OG said, I don't think they checked his personal guest. Okay. D. Michelle said, wasn't he supposed to be doing training for artists, even minors? So it would make sense to let a person in whether they had ID or not. Okay. All right. Blackberry 528 says, depends on what year that started, because he said it wasn't happening the entire time he was working there. Okay, Blackberry. Okay. Manisha said, or maybe his personal guest didn't have to present ID, just in case. All right. Let me scan up and see if anybody else got any questions here. Let me see. All right. Shello Benny, what's going on, Queen? Says, left the girls on for hours to hold their pee. Or number 2, can you imagine holding it for hours to wait for one person to answer? Oh, hell no, that wouldn't be me. I'm not holding my pee for no one. I know that's right. Manisha said, so was Joy the girl with the leash on that crawled from under the boxing ring when he snapped his fingers in the garage? Yes, it was Joycelyn Savage who had the leash. Hold on. I believe it said she had a leash. I just know that she crawled from under the ring. So I'm not sure if she had a leash on or not. Not sure about the leash, but yes, she was the girl who did. He put the girls in rooms and didn't have bathrooms. Truth said, which witness is this? The truth, I think you got it by now. It's Mr. Tom Arnold. He was the security guard. At one time, they said he was like the head of security. That's what I heard in other testimony. Blackberry, they asked about the structure to verify that rooms that they were being held at didn't have bathrooms, because remember, they had to use cups. Okay, Manisha. Okay. All right. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. Y'all some smart folks on this channel. Y'all is some smart people. So he said basically he used the rooms for his guests, meaning the girls. He made space for them. He also had a lot of bathrooms space for guests. So why wouldn't the girls be able to use it without his say so? It's weird. It is weird. It's very weird. Miss Lynn said, Atmos, keep up. Thank you. Thank you so much, Miss Lynn. I appreciate you. All right. But would that mean more private bedrooms and bathroom space? But I guess what's the logic people would think would be? I wonder why they thinking he had so many rooms and why thinking he had so much space. He had way too much space. I just figured why the lawyer is asking about the bathroom. Yeah, this guy got so many doggone storage rooms. That house had to be crazy though. King Johan said that's the same boxing ring where the kitty cat crawled out to a little boy to suck his peen. Yep, exactly. That's it, King Johan. Yep. Let's see what else y'all saying here. Let me see. Thank you very much, Ms. Tarsha. I stopped at 15:01. All right, let me see what else y'all saying. Present personal guests most likely didn't have to present ID. Okay. Shot Town said boom. Bubba let her in for a setup. So R&B Thug said Bubba let her in for a setup. Of course, who can hold their pee that long anyway? That floor would have been soap messing with me. I know that's right. Hold pee and have cups. Tabo, what's up? What's up? Because that's his way of controlling them. He should have been made to hold his pee. I know that's right. You shouldn't have to pee in cups if you have a house. Yep. I would have pissed all over that floor. The truth said, I've seen that house and made it my business not to go in. I know that's right. Missy, her question is, why couldn't they use the bathroom without permission? Confusing how you control their daily body functions. That's insane. It is insane. Oh, man. Better late than never. What's up, Take? I'm sorry. Yeah, you got in here a little late, but it's all right. You can always watch the replay, as you know. Okay, y'all. So check this out, man. I'm going to be back on here a little later on. Diva, the Divine Light, is going to be going later. If you have not subscribed to her channel, please go to her channel and like and subscribe. If you would please like this video on your way out for me, I would greatly appreciate that. If you could please, hit the like button and share the video, y'all. A lot of people want to see what's going on. So if y'all notice, I've started putting the page numbers in the video so that y'all could go so you don't miss nothing. Like, okay, so he did this page to this page. Now I'm going to read this page to this page. So you always knowing what's going on, okay? If you have not subscribed to this channel yet, please hit the subscribe button, then hit that top notification bell so that every time I go live, no matter when I go live, you at least know. So if you're working and you can't get on here, you can at least say, okay, I know Atlas went live early. Now I got something that I can do when I get off so I can know what in the heck is going on with this case, okay? And also, if you want to follow me on Twitter, follow me at Atmos_LoveZone. Atmos_LoveZone on Twitter. I would love to communicate with y'all. Also, on this video, leave your questions because I do respond to the questions. I do also respond and leave comments and things like that. So that's another way that the channel moves and grows is when y'all leave comments. So leave your comments on the video also if you like it. If you don't, if you have any questions that pop up, I would love to answer your questions. Okay, let me see here. Tate said, Missy, he made them use cups as a form of control because they knew he'd beat the mess out of them if they broke Rob's rules. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Let's see here. That's sicker than putting someone under a boxing ring. I wonder how long she was under the freaking boxing ring. Like, is that what she stays? Tabo, yes, demonic spirits. Man, it's insane. It's insane. Okay, y'all. Well, listen, I'm going to get out of here. Y'all can watch the replay. Diva Time is in the building. What's going on? Peter, what's up, Peter? How you doing? All right, y'all. Listen, I love y'all. Y'all have a blessed day. I'm going to probably be on here a little later. Not here, but on Diva the Divine Light channel. Y'all make sure y'all do that. Go over there and support and listen to what's going to be going on next. So I'm going to be reading from page. When we get over there, we'll be starting at 15:01, and then we will go for a little minute, okay? I love y'all. God bless y'all. Y'all have a blessed day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. at the bottom of the video. Let me know what y'all thinking, okay? I love y'all. Peace out.
Thank you.